The doctor barely looked at her, let alone spoke with any kindness. Just because Lena couldn't hear well, the woman in the white coat decided she didn't matter. But the second appointment, that's when everything changed. Because this time, someone came in with Lena, and the moment the doctor saw who it was, her face turned pale. "Tell me where you're watching this from. I want to know your city." Lena Ramirez never liked going to the doctor. Not because she was afraid, but because every visit came with the same quiet dread. The looks, the pity, the frustration on people's faces when they realized she was hard of hearing. And yet, she always tried to make it easy for others. She'd smile, she'd red lips, she'd nod even when she didn't catch every word. She just didn't want to be a burden. She had lost her husband 2 years ago, cancer. Since then, it had just been her and Emily, her 11-year-old daughter, who was smarter than most adults Lena had met. They were close. Emily had learned sign language before she even knew how to read. That's how they communicated. But Lena didn't want Emily to have to be her interpreter forever. So when her hearing got worse, she finally booked an appointment with a specialist, Dr. Melanie Harris, a top-rated ENT in Atlanta. Polished, efficient, cold. From the very first minute, the tone was clear. The doctor didn't have the patience for Lena's inconveniences. She barely made eye contact, spoke fast, turned her back while giving instructions. Lena kept saying gently, "I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?" But Dr. Harris sighed, muttered under her breath, and finally said, "We'll just do the basics. This won't take long." Lena left feeling small, invisible. She didn't even tell Emily the details, just that she'd have to come back in a week. But Emily had noticed the silence in her mother's eyes, so she insisted on going with her for the follow-up. When they walked in, Dr. Harris barely glanced up, but when she saw Emily, her eyes flicked with surprise. "You brought someone?" she asked, like Lena needed permission. Emily sat down beside her mother, arms crossed. "Yes, I'm here so you won't be rude again." Dr. Harris froze. She gave a tight smile. "I wasn't rude, I was just, you called her one of those cases. I read your lips, I know what you meant." The room went silent. Lena's cheeks flushed. Dr. Harris blinked, clearly shaken, not used to being called out. Then Emily said, "We brought someone else too." The door opened, and a man in a tailored suit stepped in, mid-40s, confident, kind. He smiled at Lena, then turned to Dr. Harris. "Hello, Melanie." It was her brother, Daniel. She turned pale. It was the reason Lena had booked the appointment in the first place. They met through an advocacy event for people with disabilities. He had spoken about dignity, respect. Lena had trusted him, and now here he was, watching his sister treat someone like his own mother had once been treated, because that's what stung the most. Melanie had grown up with hearing loss too. Milder, yes, but enough to know how it felt to be left out. "I recommended your clinic because I thought you'd understand," Daniel said quietly. "I didn't realize you'd forgotten who you used to be." Dr. Harris stood there exposed. No title, no stethoscope, just a woman who had lost touch with her own story. She looked at Lena, then at Emily, and for the first time she said, "I'm sorry it wasn't perfect, but it was real." Lena nodded. She didn't need revenge. She just wanted to be seen. Outside, Emily hugged her mom tight. "You didn't deserve that," she whispered. Lena smiled. And now she knows it. If you've ever felt invisible, comment the word recognition, because everyone deserves to be seen for who they are, not judged for what they lack. There's a story here on the screen that will also move you. Press to watch. You won't regret it.